Have you ever stopped to think about how something like, well, traditional radio, how it's managing in this world we live in now, hyper digital, streaming for everything.
Mhm.
But it's not just like surviving. In some places, it's actually thriving,
Yeah.
especially somewhere like Indonesia. It's fascinating. It's not just background noise there. It's like this vital thread connecting millions.
Hmm.
So today we're doing a deep dive into that paradox, really. We'll be looking at what's actually happening behind the mics, uncovering the challenges, but also the surprising innovations that are reshaping Indonesian radio, its whole soundscape.
Right.
And our deep dive today, it's anchored in this really great piece of research. It's called Voices in Transition: The Challenges and Future of Indonesian Radio Personalities in 2025.
Yeah, it's a solid source.
It gives us just an incredible window into this dynamic world.
And our mission really for you listening is to pull out the absolute key insights from that work. We want to, reveal some genuinely surprising bits and just give you a shortcut, a way to grasp the complex dance happening there between, the culture, the sheer size of Indonesia geographically, all the digital disruption, and that human connection. That's what defines radio there right now.
Okay, yeah, let's unpack that. Because it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Like, in a world where every song, every podcast, it's all on demand, right? Streaming, social media feeds.
Everywhere.
How does traditional radio keep such a powerful grip? And why Indonesia specifically? It seems like such a unique case, bringing thousands of islands, so many languages, different generations, all through the airwaves.
Well, what's truly fascinating here, and you really see it in the research, is that despite all that digital noise, all the competition, radio's power in Indonesia, it's enduring. It's quite remarkable, actually.
Right.
It says a lot about its role, like a fundamental connector for communities.
Yeah.
But, and this is the key point, while radio itself endures, the actual role of the personality, the DJ, the voice you connect with, it's changing, fundamentally.
Okay.
They're absolutely at the center of this whole shift, this transition.
So if they're right there in the middle of it, I guess it's probably not all smooth sailing for them.
Not at all.
When we look behind the mic, what are the toughest battles these personalities are facing? The research seemed pretty clear on some specific challenges. What are the top things worrying DJs and on-air talent in Indonesia right now?
It's a stark reality for quite a few of them. We found really 5 core challenges bubbling up from the material. The first one, and maybe the most relentless, is digital displacement. That's the term they use.
Okay. Digital displacement.
Yeah. Imagine, pouring your heart into your local show, only to see your audience getting sliced up, scattered across global streaming platforms, countless podcasts, especially the younger listeners.
Yeah.
It's just a massive shift in how people consume audio.
That makes total sense. Digital displacement. Okay. But what else? Is it just about listener numbers, or are there other, maybe more hidden issues going on?
Oh, absolutely. The second big hurdle is this pervasive job insecurity. Unlike, many stable careers, a huge number of these radio personalities, they're freelance.
Yeah.
Or they're on short-term contracts.
Right.
And that means very little stability, often few benefits, and just constant uncertainty about the next gig.
Wow. Okay. That's tough. What's third?
Thirdly, there's a real problem with what the research calls Jakarta-centric programming.
Jakarta-centric, meaning?
So think about the big networks, like Prambors Radio is a key example. They're increasingly bringing in, national TV celebrities to be DJs.
Okay. Big names.
Exactly, big names, which, it might pull in ratings, maybe attract advertisers initially. But the downside is it marginalizes the local talent. Really talented people in the regions get pushed aside. And the result is this kind of homogenization of content. It all starts to sound the same coming out of Jakarta, making it harder for regional stations to keep their unique local flavor.
So it's not just about losing listeners, potentially, but maybe losing their station's actual voice to these bigger, centralized players. That feels particularly challenging. And what about, professional growth? Is there support? Training.
Well, that's the fourth concern, sadly. Limited training and development. Once you get outside the big cities, like Jakarta, access to professional development, workshops, even just mentorship, it's incredibly scarce. So many are just kind of left to figure things out on their own, sink or swim.
Okay. And the last one, you said 5.
And the fifth one is a very human issue. Burnout and creative fatigue. Just think about the immense pressure. They have to be constantly high energy, right? Stay relevant, keep listeners engaged, often with minimal support structure behind them. And it just leads to this profound emotional and creative exhaustion. It's almost ironic, isn't it? A medium built on human connection
Yeah.
can lead to such exhaustion for the humans making it happen.
Wow. That, or those are some really significant challenges, both personal and systemic. But it's not all bleak, right? The research also mentioned stations and initiatives that are trying to support their talent. Maybe with mixed results, but they're trying.
Exactly. And we kind of connect this to the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
These examples, they offer really valuable lessons. They showcase both the successes and, well, the missteps for the whole industry, really.
Okay.
Let's look at 3 specific cases that really stood out in the findings.
Right.
First, you have the Parameters Radio Network. We mentioned them before. Their success story, in one sense, was how they leveraged those celebrity DJs.
Yeah.
It did boost ratings. It did attract advertisers across their 9 cities. In terms of numbers, it worked.
Right. The strategy paid off on paper.
On paper, yes. However, the critical misstep,
Mm-hmm.
the big downside, was that this exact strategy sidelined the local voices. It led to that Jakarta-centric content we talked about,
Yeah.
and that ultimately weakened the regional identity, that authentic listener connection.
Okay, so a double-edged sword there. What's next?
Then there's Radio Pension. Now, this is a really inspiring story. It's an internet radio station founded entirely by retirees.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And its success is quite remarkable. It grew rapidly to over 300,000 listeners.
Just retirees running it.
Primarily, yes. And they focused on positivity, building a really strong community, specifically among older Indonesians.
That's fantastic. Is there a downside?
Well, the limitation, though it's admirable work, is its very niche focus.
Yeah.
Serving that specific group, which inherently restricts its kind of broader industry impact or how easily you could scale it up.
Got it. Makes sense. And the third one?
And finally, Heartline Bali FM. This one's a fantastic example of a community radio model. It really empowers local voices. It fosters social cohesion through programming that's deeply participatory. People get involved.
Nice. Community-led.
Exactly. Their ongoing challenge, though, is a classic one for community projects. Sustainability.
Ah, funding.
Right. They're still grappling with how to secure consistent funding or get reliable government support. That's the tough part.
Okay, so these individual station stories, these battles, they're clearly not just happening in isolation in Indonesia. What are the bigger truths here? What's emerging from Indonesia's radio journey that might, resonate across Southeast Asia or maybe even wider?
Yeah, and this raises a really important question for many regions, actually. What valuable insights does Indonesia's experience offer for neighboring countries? Because many across Southeast Asia share very similar cultural dynamics, economic pressures.
Right.
The research really distills it down to 4 critical lessons, I think.
Okay, what are they?
First, there's this crucial need to balance celebrity with authenticity. Yes, star power can definitely attract listeners. We saw that with Prambors. But stations must also invest heavily in nurturing their own homegrown local talent. That's key for genuine cultural relevance.
Makes sense. Keep it real.
Exactly. Second, community-centric models work. Stations like Heartline Bali FM are just powerful proof that radio can be this incredible tool for local empowerment, but only when it truly reflects local voices and local needs.
Okay, lesson 2.
Third, digital integration is key. It's not optional anymore.
Right. Gotta embrace it.
You have to embrace streaming, podcasting, social media. It's absolutely imperative to extend your reach, to engage audiences, especially the younger ones. You have to meet them where they are.
Okay. And the fourth?
And fourth, and this ties back to that burnout issue we discussed, mental health and career support matter profoundly. Providing structured support, consistent training, actual wellness resources, this can significantly reduce burnout.
Yeah.
And it dramatically improves your ability to keep talented people. Retention is huge.
Yeah. That feels crucial. So that's a really powerful set of takeaways. Looking ahead then, what's the outlook? Say, for the second half of 2025 for these Indonesian radio professionals. Is it just more of the same struggles, or are there, genuine reasons to be optimistic?
The horizon, based on what we're seeing in the research and broader trends, it looks cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that's the right term.
Cautiously optimistic. Okay, why?
Well, several positive trends are highlighted. For one, there's a projection for steady market growth in the global radio market overall. And that's significantly driven by digital platforms and increasingly by AI-enhanced personalization.
Interesting. AI and radio.
Yeah. Also, stations are actively exploring diversified revenue streams. They're getting smarter, moving beyond just traditional ad revenue.
Like what?
Like podcasting, creating branded content, even exploring subscription models. trying to supplement the old ways.
Right. Makes sense.
Then there's technological integration. That's continuing to really reshape how audiences interact with radio. Think smart speakers, mobile apps, more AI-driven content curation, finding what you like.
Mm.
And maybe the most exciting part, potentially, is what looks like a budding talent renaissance.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, a renewed interest in actually developing homegrown talent, particularly
yeah.
in the regional markets. It seems stations are genuinely starting to recognize the deep value of those authentic, relatable, local voices again.
That feels like coming full circle, almost. Back to authenticity.
In a way, yes.
Yeah.
It's recognizing what makes radio special.
What a journey we've kind of traced today, then. Right through these crossroads where Indonesian radio personalities are standing, caught beautifully between those legacy formats and these exciting, maybe scary digital futures.
Yeah.
And between that pull of celebrity culture on one side and that deep, enduring community connection on the other.
It's a real tension. And their journey, it truly reflects broader shifts we're seeing right across Southeast Asia. Radio there remains this powerful medium, but it's constantly evolving. And by learning, from both the triumphs in Indonesia and the missteps, the whole region can help ensure its radio voices don't just survive, but actually thrive in the years to come.
So as you listening reflect on our deep dive today, what really stands out to you? How does this interplay, this tension between global trends and the vital importance of local authenticity? How does that resonate maybe in other media you follow, or perhaps even in your own professional field? It's worth considering, isn't it? How you, in your own context, might balance driving innovation with preserving those truly unique, authentic voices.